Hello everybody, welcome to today's live stream. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Someone over at Cointelegraph is losing their job today. I don't know who it is, but that false report, not good. I mean, the amount of people that got absolutely wrecked by that, it's so bad. Here, give me just 1 second. I gotta flip this quick. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at price action here and kind of talk about what happened and what we can expect. Here's the deal. Let's start with let's go to our high time frame chart. Okay, so we can call this one of two different things here. So we can either say, and there was someone in the Discord that was like talking to me about this, and they said, oh, I think it's possible we can still go to 29K, and he sort of redrew my head and shoulders, pattern here, in a different way, based on a different timing. So like, my original head and shoulders, this was the bottom here and this was the bottom here. I didn't actually do the bottom here, and that's because of the Bybit chart that wicked all the way down to, here or whatever. It wicked down like this. So because of that, I decided to draw it over here, but now, as I was talking with him, we shared a couple charts back and forth, and I was like, I can see how it would be possible, but because of this rejection here, I'm not really a big fan. So for me, like, this was the high. I would have to see some like serious, I'd have to see a pretty crazy move for me to be convinced that we would go, up there. And well, of course that happened, of course, piggybacking off of what would have been an ETF approval news, that it turned out to be actually fake, and I wish it was real. I genuinely, wholeheartedly wish it was a real approval, and I'll tell you why. Because if it was a real approval, we would have gotten like the short of the century. Like, it would have been such an incredible short. And you can sit here and say, well, memory lock, look at this huge rejection here, this was a great short. Well, no, it wasn't. This was a shitty situation. I mean, look at this. So we had let's see, so our weekly level is about 29,200, and we have a monthly level. It's up here. We didn't get it on this one. Okay, on this chart it didn't go up here. On virtually every other chart it did go up to this level. So just to give you an idea, if we look at this here, we spent 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes above in a zone that I would consider to be time to short. Okay, and that just isn't. It's not realistic to think that you're going to be entering a position in that short of time. Okay. So like, what would have and probably should have happened, is something we can talk a little bit about. But ultimately, if this is that move, let's say, kind of that move that I'm looking for here, and we do the timing now to say, like, this is around the midpoint. So we're not quite at the midpoint. The midpoint would that be this Friday or the following? Let me look here. It would be the following Friday. It would be right around the middle. So, I mean, it would be really nice to see if in the next kind of come back up like this or whatever. And then from there, we basically just look to get down to this point and later on go down over here. And I'm starting to see now how this timing is playing out, because this is around when I wanted to like put this low in specifically here. So, I can see that by extending that, it really got rid of a lot of what I thought was just going to be slow consolidation at the lows here. So now I think that it's more likely, like I said, God willing, we get a back test into this zone. We basically look to trade it to here. I wouldn't be surprised if we got another small bounce, and then from here we basically have this dip down to the midline where we can look for long positions down in here. And for me, that will be the generational buy opportunity, in my opinion. I 100% mind drip. Yeah, I 100%. So the question is, so you think that the real ETF news will be a sell the news event? Yeah. So I'll explain to you why. And I don't know how long you've been watching my stuff or how long we've been along here, but I called this bear market rally high a week in advance based off of a harmonic, and I said it's based on a 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and I said it's going to piggyback off of some really bullish news. So we had the SEC, or what was it? It was the XRP case win over the SEC. They had some kind of like a win over them or something like that. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. So what does that mean when that happens? You have a lot of retailers FOMOing in because of the quote-unquote good news that's going to send us to new all-time highs or whatever the hell the narrative is. So when that happens, you have a lot of liquidity here, because if someone's not buying, you can't sell. Okay, so if you're someone who's trying to fill a very, very big position, let's say, you need a lot of people buying and buying and buying and buying and buying your shorts so you can enter that short position, right? So thankfully, if you have some really bullish news at range highs at clear resistance, that's great news for someone who wants to enter a large short, and that's exactly what happened here. So similarly, I would have loved it if this were real news, because in my opinion, we would have had a better short opportunity, because what would have happened is that we would have spent some time up here. You know, we would have spent a little bit of time up in this zone, and you know, Twitter would have gotten super, super bullish. Everyone would be, you'd be getting texts and calls from your friends and grandmas and cousins and whoever who are like, oh my God, is now the time to buy the Bitcoin. I hear the ETF is approved. It's on the news, and everyone's just saying new all-time highs and blah, 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 blah. So this creates a lot of FOMO. We're going to get a lot of retailers to be going into resistance here, which, you know, would then give people the opportunity to fill some really large short positions that ultimately I do think are going to play out really, really nicely. So yeah, to answer, I hope that answers your question. That's kind of my thoughts on it. And I like I said, I really, really, really wish it was real, and I hope that later today there is some real news to come out. And you know, that Cointelegraph tweet was a sort of jumped the gun on the actual approval. So hopefully we do see that today. I think that would be great if we actually got some approval today, and maybe that'll give us our opportunity for our back test, or maybe even sweep this high or something like that. So yeah, this is sort of what I'm looking at now at this point. I adjusted my analysis a little bit, similar to, like I said, what I was talking to with that one individual in the Discord. I can't remember who it was, and I sort of, again, I explained, you know, that the way I originally drew it was here because of the Bybit chart, but that I could see a reason why we would draw it here, although I would want to see the levels hit first. We had the levels hit, so it's time to adjust. So I did just that. So now we're looking at this low here instead of this one, and now, you know, we can see that we're sort of falling in line for around that time that we would want to put that high in, and from here really we're just looking to trade it back down. I mean, pretty well. So we'll leave this plan set up. I'm going to go ahead and hide this. Ultimately, you know, like I said, God willing, we get some kind of a back test or something, we can look to add to our short position or whatever. I caught a short at like 29,800, which, you know, that's cool and all, but I didn't really, it was a starter position. I didn't really get the full fill. So yeah, and you know, from there, like I said, similar to what I've been saying for now 8 weeks, kind of a move down to this mid-range here, and then sort of just, you know, probably do some kind of like bounce and consolidation before eventually getting that dip down to the midline there. So let's go to our lower time frame chart and take a look at some of the price action here and talk about the levels that were hit. So I've had this marked out on my chart for the longest time, and like I'm actually going to pull this up. I want to show you guys this actual setup here. I I fucking cannot believe this happened, because I had been saying that this would happen for the longest time, and it totally did what I wanted it to do, but it did something different first that made me change my mind. But look at this, and but mind you, I posted this August 18th. This is from 2 months ago. 2 months ago, okay? Where I said we're gonna get this move down here, right? Get a bounce and a move up for a right shoulder at about 30K. I wanted to sweep that to go to about 30K, and then reject and get this move down and come down like this. This was 2 months ago. 2 months, 8 weeks ago, that this was kind of the idea that I wanted to do. And if we, you know, of course, you know, go back to this and look at some of my original drawings, where is it here? Here we go. So this was shifted over here. We got that low on the Bybit chart. This one, obviously, I moved this. It was originally up here, and I had an SFP of this zone or something like that. I can't remember where I drew it out, but I mean, you guys saw it. I had it going up to that 30 zone or whatever, and ultimately the original plan happened, and how it played out was just really, obviously it's not ideal. I don't really want to be like, oh yeah, I called it. Like, I didn't know that, you know, I didn't know that Cointelegraph was going to do a false report and have something like that happen, but this was my original idea, was to come up to this level, and you know, we did finally hit that zone. And I think what's important to take away here is just how key this area was in getting hit. So the idea is so far stands, and it turned out to be really good play. So here are the actual levels. We'll go through kind of everything here and take a look at what we can, and maybe do some updating here. I don't know how useful this information is going to be, because this was, in my opinion, a pretty bullshit move here. Like, I don't believe that this, I don't know how much good analysis we'll be able to get off of this move, given what's happened here, but we'll see what we can do. All right. So this was the harmonic that we were looking at, and in the Discord I said that you know, if I said after we got this dump here, I said I think that the low is in, and this harmonic will likely play out. Obviously it played out well beyond, I'm sure, everybody's expectations because of the ETF approval. So we'll just go ahead and take a look. Yeah, so it just came shy to the 1618 here for this harmonic, so the levels were extremely respected. Yeah, just shy of it, so that's a really good, and that's about as far as I would take any harmonic, is probably the 1618. So this played out really nicely. That was a great harmonic, really beautiful timing on a I guess what would have then been classed as a Gartley over a bat. I was preferring a bat. I was hoping to see this low right here. You know, what I wanted was for this low to go down here, and we obviously did not get that. Okay. So we'll go ahead and clean this up. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't think we really need that. So this is a plan I drew out, God, I don't know, how long ago was this? Yeah, probably about a month ago now. Didn't play out exactly like what I thought, but you can kind of see this is where I wanted that sweep, and you know, here is where I would have loved to have had this news happen and give us a little bit of time, or you know, like come up here, consolidate, then the ETF news comes out, we pump up, and then that sort of gives us our sweep and our short entry. But we can see that it just didn't play out that cleanly. This was my original short position that I've been waiting and watching for. Again, we didn't have any time to fill, so You know, I like I said, I am short from 29,800, but we were up there for 4 minutes. So we'll keep that yet though. Get rid of some of the stuff here. Okay, not sure what that was from. Okay, again, I don't really like this, but this channel has been, holy hell, has this channel been great. Basically, anytime it's touched, it's time to short. You can see here and then here again. Really, really, really nice. Excuse me. Definitely going to keep that channel. That is really, really nice. Oh yeah, and this is what I was looking for originally. It was kind of that sweep. Yeah, man. Yeah, ugh. Just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, this candle here. You know, I mean, only in crypto would something like this ever happen. A false news report by Cointelegraph. Yeah, just awful. Yeah, again, it's my original plan. We'll hang on to it. Why not? I don't think I need this anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. This is the original bear market rally high short. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Look at where we topped out to the dollar. Previous range value area high. This is a level I've had marked out on my chart for 3 months. You can look back on my analysis and see it there. Super key level to the absolute dollar. To the absolute dollar. Rejection there. Yeah. I wonder, where's the point of control? I doubt we'll make it there even. Let's see if any of our trend lines line up. These are kind of all of our lower time frame trend lines. Nothing really there. Yeah, this has turned out to be a really nice pitch fan. You can see here again that really coincides with that high there. This has just been a really nice, overall pretty nice pitch fan, honest to God. Yep, major resistance, look at that, boom, right at the top there. Yeah, crazy. Crazy, crazy. Okay, I really want to look at just the weekly chart here to see what kind of mess this shit is. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I don't really see anything useful. Alright, so here's what I'm going to tell you guys. This is my analysis for the week. It's Monday today. This is my analysis for the week. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an ETF approval today or this week. I would not be surprised. Now, regardless, because of this shit, I don't really expect as big of a reaction from an ETF approval. I think this was the juice, and a lot of people got really screwed over by it. So here's what I think. The original plan was to short 28,300. No, that's not true at all. I showed you the post from 2 months ago. It was to short like 30K, but then I readjusted it. I adjusted it for sure. I 100% adjusted it to short, yeah, around 28,300. But that was much after the fact. That wasn't the original plan from 2 months ago. So okay, here's my idea. I think this wick is going to get filled. Alright, I think this wick is going to get filled. What does that look like? I think that's going to look something like this. With maybe I don't think it'll take that long though. With maybe spike somewhere in here. Probably on the latter half. Could see something like this. If I were to guess, this would be what I think is gonna happen. Now, where or how high it goes, I don't know. I do not know. I think that if it does come to this zone, the safest thing you could do would be to put your stop loss over the high. And ultimately, in my opinion, this is targeting, I mean, probably like 22, but for sure, you know, for sure this low here. So at about 23, 24, okay? That's sort of my high time frame analysis. This is what I've been talking about for a very, 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 very long time. And I think that this could probably take, I don't know, maybe the rest of the week or at least a few days into midweek to kind of develop that move. And, you know, ideally we can get maybe a better idea of where we want to place our stop loss or maybe some kind of a setup. So for example, you know, if we wait and we see this move here and we get this spike where we take out this high, great, that's likely going to be a short where we can move our stop loss, you know, above that high then, rather than having it, you know, rather than having it up here. So when I shorted in this zone, because in my opinion, this is the bear market rally high and we are not going to be taking this high out this year, because that's my opinion. What I was able to do is start shorting. Like I said, I was building a position at 29,800 with my stop loss above here. And the intention was to slowly build that position and fine-tune an entry that would allow me to have, you know, better risk reward and also enter a larger position. So, you know, we'll have to just kind of take it day by day and look for what we want to do. But yeah, in my opinion, I think it's very, very likely, and I don't know how long it will take, but I think it's very likely that we fill this wick. All right, so I wish I could get, I wonder if I can find some examples here of that. Like, I've talked about this before. Like, if you see my swing failure pattern video, I have a tutorial on swing failure patterns. So like, this is a decent example, okay? So you have this giant wick, and it turned out to like be a hammer, and you're like, oh, this is a really, really good time to, you know, this is a really good time to short. We took out all these lows. Right? Took out all the or a good time to long. We should be longing this right away, right? But you know, the idea is that what happened first is that it came down and filled the wick, right? Filled the wick, didn't actually take out the low, came close, and then you saw our move up, right? So similarly, I wonder if we have any other examples, because these are really, really cool. As a matter of fact, there is one, and I recall it from, this was in my SFP video. I think it was from this range. Yeah, I think it was. Well, you can see a couple different examples. You see this really big wick here. See how we filled it? Okay. This wick here. See how we filled it before having our continuation, right? The idea is that these wicks are definitely going to be filled. I'll take a peek at which one you're talking about there. End of January. Oh, it was over here, wasn't it? Did you watch that video? Was it over here? Well, anyway, you guys get the idea. I think that it's going to get filled, right? We can see we're already getting some kind of a pump to the upside. Do not be alarmed, and please, for the love of God, do not long. Do not long. If you want to, if you're like, yeah, I just want to do like maybe some kind of like a long into the back test, you know, like if you wanted to just go ahead and rip some long into the back test or something, then you know, by all means, go right ahead. I have no idea where it's gonna go to. You could say it's here or there or wherever you want. You know, that's fine, but please do not long this with the mindset that, yeah, we're going to be going to new highs. We're going to go to 32, 35K, 40K, whatever it's going to be. Whatever you do, for the love of God, please do not do that to yourself, because in my opinion, it's not a good trade. So yeah, this is anyway, this will be our plan for the week. Basically, look to fill the wick. We'll look at like the 618, 786 back test. Price has really liked the 786 lately. So maybe we can look for a deviation of the 618 for something like that, and maybe a potential sweep of the high on something like this. Right now, I'm not going to hold my breath that will happen. Ideally, what we'll see is price kind of come up like this. And then, you know, this right here is where we would see the ETF approval. The real ETF approval, or even better yet, somewhere over here, right? And we sort of wick up like this, and that would be a massive short opportunity. So this would be ideal, is if we did something like this, and then this is where the ETF actually got approved, and then we saw this massive wick to the upside, that, you know, would be an SFP here, and then give us an opportunity to basically short down to 23, 24K minimum. So I think that that's a good plan for the week. What are we sitting at? 30 minutes. I think that that's a great time frame for us to go ahead and call it here. Despite the false news and all the bullshit with the wick today and everything, the levels are still respected. The technical analysis is still respected, okay? And like I said, whenever you have a wick like this, in my opinion, it's most likely that it gets filled. We can go ahead and just take a look here just for fun. Let me pull some of this off of the... Go ahead and pull this off here. Let's take a look. Somebody is for sure getting fired today from Cointelegraph. That's so many people lost real money because of that. Alrighty, let's take a look. This is a 100x short that did not get taken out. 30.2. Oof, interesting. Interesting. 8 billion, 17 billion. taken out. This one got taken out. Gone. This one did not. 28.6. Write these down. $28.6. $29.6. $29.8. $30.27. Let's say we do a minimum of 27, so 28.8. 28. Okay. So here's just what I'm looking for right now is typically you would find that the 100xers get totally wrecked. The last 100xer is up here, but that would mean that all of these 50x and 25x shorters here, leverage shorters here will also get wrecked. So let's say that we spare all of the 25s. 25 starts about 28.84. So let's go ahead and look at our chart quick and just see where that lets us sit here. 28.8. Oh, that doesn't get us very far, does it? Basically, yeah, that doesn't get us very far at all. I wouldn't really want to short that. What are our other levels? Yeah, 29.27. Oh, so yeah, right here, which is, I don't know, let's see what that is. So we do have a real, our highest 100x lev short is right at the 886, so that's great. That is great. So right at the 886 would be where the highest 100x shorter is right now. So yeah, that would be really nice if we did manage to take all of that out, but man, my hopes are not very high for that. Yeah, I'm not like gonna be holding my breath that that's gonna happen. So we'll have to just play it by ear and see what happens. Right now, my plan, fill the wick, and we can evaluate from there. Yeah, all the hot spots are lower. Here's the thing, guys. Honest to God, like, and I'll let me just show you. Let's go ahead and take a step back here. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So see all this liquidity down here? This has been the primary spot for liquidity since back here. Okay, so it's been that way for 2 months, that this is the hottest spot for liquidity. What did we just pump into? I mean, look at that. I guess we went all the way up here. There's like there's not really a whole lot in comparison, right? The next area of liquidity obviously is all the way up here, but we pumped up to like here on Binance. So, you know, when price is trending like away, it just feels like what I would call like an empty pump, like it's like a ghost pump, or like it's a phrase that Spanx would always use. It's like a ghost pump, right? There's nothing. Like, what is there? Like, look at this. Like, what got grabbed? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing here, right? It's all down here. This is the hot spot. So, like, as we keep pumping and getting that move, it's like, for me, it's just, honest to God, it's just more of a short opportunity than anything else. Let's go ahead and just look at the BitMEX and Binance chart. Yeah, let's go ahead and run those. Wow, look at that. So it tells a totally different story on the Bybit and BitMEX chart than the Binance chart. On Bybit, yep, 22.8 is a hot spot, but we can see, man, pretty heavy liquidity up here. It's very interesting. Very different story than Binance. Same with BitMEX. So people are favoring shorts more. But again, I mean, the size and liquidity of pretty much every other exchange combined isn't even close to what Binance does. So kind of have to respect the king on that one, in my opinion. Yeah. Just looking back even 2 years, you can see that these are the hot spots. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think that that's a really good place for us to go ahead and stop our analysis for the day. I think that, like I said, this was a really unfortunate, in my opinion. This sucks. This is so shitty right here. I don't, nothing really good came out of this. If you shorted it and caught it, consider yourselves lucky. I mean, and if you missed it, guys, it's not, first of all, there will always be more opportunities, and God willing, maybe we get some kind of a back test up here. But if you miss this, don't beat yourself up. It literally, price, if you look at the amount of time that it spent up here, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. 4 minutes, right? And we've been looking at a move up into this zone for 2 months. All right, so like imagine being ready, right? Ready and waiting the moment that that's going to happen, and you're just so happen to be in front of your chart, and be able to take the trade in a 4-minute period over, when you've been looking at that zone for 2 months. Like, the odds of it happening are just not very big. So don't beat yourselves up too much over it. I don't think that it's not a big deal. And like I said, hopefully we will get some degree of a back test. I have my alerts set for that possibility, and we can look to short from there. So thank you guys for joining me. As always, this was a very, very interesting day and a very interesting stream. So I'll go ahead and put these updates in the Discord, and if you guys have any questions throughout the week, feel free to ask. All right? Enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and thanks again for joining.